This video covers Lesson 2-3 Warm-Up for Secondary 1 Math, Writing and Graphing Linear Equations in Two Variables. To celebrate the high school graduation, you and your 3 BFFs go on a 5-day outdoor adventure. Show all your work on each problem. Number 1. The first 2 days, you and your 3 BFFs hike Kings Peak. It is 46 miles round trip. If you only have 2 days and plan on hiking 8.5 hours per day on average, how fast do you need to hike? Round to the nearest tenth. So the first thing we need to do is identify the important information. Well, we have you and your 3 BFFs that are hiking it. You have 46 miles round trip to travel in 2 days, and you're hiking 8.5 hours per day on average. So to figure out the speed, so speed is distance over time. Our distance is 46 miles. And then we have to think about our time. So we're going to divide it by the amount of time. Well, we're traveling for 2 days, so 2 times 8.5 hours. So that would give us a total of 17 hours. Now we can take the 46 miles and divide it by 17 hours, which results in about 2.7 miles per hour. So on average, you would have to hike 2.7 miles every hour to complete this hike in the 2 days. Number 2. You each need to carry 20 pounds of food and equipment on your King Peaks hike. You have an option to rent a mule to carry your food and equipment. The total cost would be $232.40, which includes a rental fee of $30. How much would you pay per mile without the rental fee to hire the mule? Write an equation, then solve. So again, we're going to go through the problem and identify the important information. Well, it looks like the fact that we each have 20 pounds of food and equipment is something that we might need to know. You have the option to rent a mule. That's good. The total cost would be $232.40. This includes a rental fee of $30. And the last sentence here explains what we're looking for. How much would you pay per mile without the rental fee? So the question is, how much will we pay per mile without the rental fee? So if we start out with our total cost, $232.40, and subtract the rental fee, that will give us the amount it will cost us for the total amount of miles. And if we look back at number 1, it tells us that the number of miles is 46. So 46 miles times whatever the cost is per mile, and this is where we place our x. So now that we have our equation, we can solve it. And I like to draw my line down from my equal sign. If we simplify the left side of our equation, $232.40 minus $30 would be $202.40. And that would be equal to 46 times x. Now we'll divide by 46 to solve for x, which results in x being equal to 4.40. And this means that it costs $4.40 per mile to rent the mule. Number 3. Day 3, 4, and 5 will be spent horseback riding and camping in the Uinta National Forest. This portion of the trip costs $450, which includes a $150 guide fee. How much does this part of the trip cost per person without the guide fee? Write an equation, then solve. So let's go ahead and identify all the important information. We're doing days 3, 4, and 5. Where we're going, this portion of the trip costs $450. It includes a $150 guide fee. The question now, so this is the part we want to make sure we're looking for. how much does this part of the trip cost per person? And without the guide fee. That helps us set up our equation. So if we take the total cost of this portion of our trip, and we want to find out the cost per person without the guide fee. Well, the total cost would be $150 guide fee plus 4 times the cost per person. So X represents the cost per person. Now, I wrote 4 times that because you have 3 BFFs and you. There are technically 4 people involved. And so now we can solve this equation by subtracting 150 from both sides of the equation. And that would give us 300 is equal to 4x's. And then we would divide by 4. And our result would be that x is equal to 75. So this means that it costs $75 per person plus the guide fee. Now I do want to note that we could write a different equation. It wouldn't have to be this one. If we wrote it like we did the last one, we could have written 450 minus 150 equals 4x's. And even though the equation looks different, it is actually an equivalent equation and would still give us the same result, that x is equal to 75. This concludes the video of the Lesson 2-3 warm-up for Secondary 1 Math, writing and graphing linear equations in 2 variables.